How's it going, everyone? Data here, and welcome back to the Seattle Kraken franchise mode, episode number 19, here at the beginning of the 2025-26 regular season, year number 5. In the last one, we had one of our best drafts in my entire franchise mode career. Maybe not the entire draft itself, but draft picks, as in the first round, we went ahead with the 27th overall selection and selected an 80 overall medium top 4 defenseman, Alexander Kozlov. Already a couple of X factors, already 86 defensive awareness, 88 shot blocking, 87 stick checking. It was a very nice draft, along with some other players as well who are obviously unsigned without the high enough overall, but some other prospects to throw into the system. Last couple of years of drafts right here, including Tiny Morrison, the medium elite defenseman. So things are looking up here in Seattle. But the bigger picture heading into our 5th season is that we are looking to go back to back, coming off the 2025 Stanley Cup Championship. If you didn't see those playoffs, you are missing out because it was a roller coaster to say the least. But we know that we have a winning team. That's the thing. We know we have a winning team, but our biggest issue heading into this 5th NHL season is we have lots of young talent pushing to make the lineup. Already, this lineup, looking as it is without Adam Lowry. He would be, I guess, 13th forward or whatever. This is without, in our scratches, Dylan Gambrell, who's been amazing the last, was it 2 full NHL seasons? But his whole career since getting drafted in the expansion draft. Also without 80 overall Jesse Ylönen. Also without 79 overall Asher Maloney and 79 overall Vitaly Popov. So while the lineup looks good, we can't relegate our talent to the 4th line and to the AHL for too much longer before it starts to really hurt their future growth. Because when Schwartz and Trocheck and maybe even Tarasenko are gone within the next 1, 2, 3 years, we need that talent to be ready to grow into that 2nd line, 1st line, top 6 role, as opposed to us going out and finding new talent. I think the answers for the future are already in our organization. Defense, same issue. This is, looking great like this, but it's without in the AHL. It's without Jake Bean, who we're looking to move. It's without Kozlov, who we just drafted and definitely has to be in the lineup. It's without our former 7th defenseman, Jeremy Lauzon, and it's without our future top 4 defenseman, Vince Sloan. Of course, Kyle Wood, he'll be on the team if and when needed. He still hasn't made a Seattle Kraken debut, but he is ready to go. So first things first, we want to touch upon the X factors. What I like to do here in NHL 22 is at the beginning of every season, it is an opportunity for us to add or remove X factors and or superstar abilities from a maximum of 3 players. This season, I think Pat puts it great in his comment. Great episode as always. And we talked a little bit about contracts over in the Discord server. But for the X factor additions, he suggests Vinny Trocheck, Ethan Bear, and Ben Bishop. Ben Bishop is the real Conn Smythe winner. Reward him. Couldn't agree more. I don't think anyone would disagree. They're still building the statue as we speak outside Climate Pledge Arena. Vinny Trocheck having none is shocking and sticks out the most of the players who don't have any. I would give him the Bo Horvat treatment, which would be no golds, but 3 or 4 silvers. Vinny Trocheck, very deserving again. It's always funny for me to think, and we signed him to a 4-year contract, thinking he would be done after 1, maybe 2 years with Matty Beniers coming in. But with Beniers becoming a fixture on the 1st line left wing instead, Vinny Trocheck has now played 3 full 82-game seasons with us, scoring no less than 68 and no more than 76 points per year, consistently at that 50 assist mark. He has been amazing. He was a point per game in the playoffs as well. He can get some silvers. Third, Ethan Bear only got one of the ones that Pat suggested last year. I ended up giving Bear only 1 because I gave a couple to Ryan Pulak as well. Pat says that he would add Third Eye and Bouncer as our best D-man. Speaking of, I'm only very jealous that Ethan Bear is a higher overall for data than when Pat, created an entire NHL franchise for the man, those Saskatoon Polar Bears, on Pat's channel if you're interested in seeing his series from NHL 21. Now, aside from those 3 suggestions from Pat of Trocheck, Bear, and Bishop, there were some other comments that were calling for Jaden Schwartz or even Chandler Stevenson to get some X factors. The maximum is 3, so I don't want to give any more. I think we can all agree on Bishop. I think we can all agree on Trocheck as well. Ethan Bear is amazing, but the thing is, here's my rationale behind it. Ethan Bear is only going to be getting better, and he is still signed for 4 more years. He's not going anywhere. If we want to add X factors next season, I don't think it's too late, and he already has some right now. Meanwhile, we have Jaden Schwartz, who is 33 years of age, regressing to an 84 overall in the last year of his contract. Now might be a good time to give him an X factor because he is coming off a 69-point season and a point-per-game run in the postseason, and he was a huge reason why we had a lot of success in the playoffs. He was almost every fourth shot was going in for him. So for me personally, I think we can all agree, like I said, on Bishop and Trocheck, but I might want to go Schwartz over another one for Ethan Bear, as he already has one. Chandler Stevenson also has a good argument, but I think if I had to go between Schwartz or Stevenson, he's a couple years older. He's already starting to regress. I think this little extra boost might help to keep him at the level that he showed himself to be last season. I wouldn't want it to be an Andre Palat fall-off kind of thing that we saw last year, where Palat had career-high numbers, and then after that regressed from an 85 to an 83 and was traded by the trade deadline. I'd like to keep Jaden Schwartz. I think giving an X factor will help him to continue to keep up the pace that he's set. So I am sorry about that for Pat, because I know he loves his Ethan Bear. He already has one. He's already an 86 overall. He's our best defenseman for sure. I'm not debating any of that. But I think I really got to go Trocheck. You can't say no to the Conn Smythe for Ben Bishop, and Schwartz, we want to help keep his play up. So Ethan Bear, I'd almost go ahead and lock it in right now as a candidate for the 2026-27 season. Next year he'll get something. But right now I'm going to go ahead and add a couple of silvers to do with defense and passing for Vinny. Give Ben Bishop 1 or 2 as well. And then I'll also do 1 or 2 shooting ones for Jaden Schwartz, and I'll show you those in a moment. Alright, so that's all taken care of. Vinny Trocheck will have 3 silvers, quick draw for his face-off ability, stick him up for his great defensive stick, and tape to tape for great passing within vision. I was thinking of adding some more passing abilities, but I didn't want to go from no X factors to just having like 5 of them right off the bat, so I thought 3 was a good place to start, and we'll see where we go from there. Jaden Schwartz gave him a couple. We now have Seeing Eye for great shot through screens, and Send It, great long passing, because even though he's been a great shooter, he is coming off, was it 3 straight seasons of at least 40 assists, between 40 and 55 the last 3 seasons, when his career average looked like it was in the 20s and 30s beforehand. He has been an amazing playmaker with us while still scoring the same amount of 20-25-ish goals. Goaltending now, Ben Bishop, he got a few X factors. He got 4 of them because he definitely deserved them. Dialed in for boosting saves when on a roll. Handled it, one-on-one saves boost team energy. Post-to-post, great post-to-post saves, pretty self-explanatory. And Whirlwind, consecutive saves 3 in 5 seconds or less will boost team energy. So there are the X Factor additions heading into this 4th season. So getting back to the YouTube comments now for the other thoughts. And by the way, Jaden Schwartz now with those added X Factors gives the second line a +5 because he is a great line fit to boot. So that is fantastic. Thank you very much. But back to the YouTube comments. Most of them had to do with just using the preseason as a time of experimentation for some of those rookies, see who sticks. And luckily, this episode is just going to be the preseason and then maybe 10 or 15 games into the regular season. And then we can make some bigger decisions headed into the second half or even part 2 of 3 of the actual season, once all of you will have a chance to see what what came from the preseason and how those players did when given an NHL opportunity. Rocky Mountain Russian, what a draft. Got 3 of my Russian peeps. Good work. I would say this to start for sure. Defense, Kozlov has to be in, and Fleury can be the 7th D-man. He can be used as needed, knowing that he can play well. Keep playing Kozlov in the NHL, as he will have no growth over an 80 in the AHL. Offense, I like these lines, except maybe bring in Gambrel for Mercer and have Lowry be the 13th forward, knowing that he can play well anywhere. I like the young guys getting time on the first line in the NHL. For the goaltending, I'll go after Tucker Tynan, but unfortunately he's not in free agency anymore. Trade Jake Bean for sure, even if it's for a 6th round pick. There is no place anymore with all of the young D-men coming up. Then you can see some more thoughts about the scouting, which you can pause and read, which are fantastic if you're interested in that. The bad news about Jake Bean is that I won't bring you through it right now, but I already tried to do some trades. Jake Bean for a 7th round pick does not go through to any team, even the ones that want him. Jake Bean with a 3rd round pick for a 7th round pick does not go through either. It would take probably 2/3 or at least a second with Jake Bean to dump him. We are not in a tight cap situation right now. He is still an 83 overall. Yeah, he signed for 5 more years at 4.375. It's not a horrible contract. It's more the term on it. He's not a horrible defenseman either. He's just lost his spot kind of. So you know what? Maybe we give him the Carl Alsner treatment, something like that. We play him in the AHL. And he's not going to be a 7th D-man who's scratched, but we play him in the AHL, and if there's a big injury, if the defense are really struggling, then maybe he can come back, because there's no point in trading him right now. Like I said, we're not tight in the salary cap. It's going to cost us more to move him away. If anything, keeping him might grow his trade value. So keeping him for right now is the move, even though he will likely not be getting NHL minutes unless something big or catastrophic were to happen due to performance or injury. Absolute worst case scenario, we move him in a bigger deal later on. But I even tried giving Bean and Lowry and a pick for a 7th round pick. Does not go through. Lowry alone for like a 3rd round pick, that does go through. So we'll get into that after when we're thinking about, do we trade Adam Lowry? Jukesy Baby Joel at Juke says, team looks stacked and ready to make another run. He made some small necessary changes but kept the core intact. Kozlov should get at least top line minutes in the AHL. Then you bring him up next season if he grows. You do have the luxury of having a strong team with strong depth. Experiment a little, bring up Popov, Maloney, Kozlov, etc. if anyone in your bottom 6 starts playing poorly. You have the luxury of being able to experiment without destroying your team's overall. Good luck this season, back-to-back incoming. Could not agree more there, Joel. We're definitely going to be doing a lot of experimentation. The only reason I say that I definitely do want Kozlov in the NHL, though, is because he's already listed, he's already listed as a top 6 D-man. So that's why I don't know if I want to even try putting him in the AHL, unless he really struggles during the NHL preseason here. Grievous says, great draft. Kozlov is going to need NHL minutes. And other than that, not sure what else there is to say. I would apply the attitude of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Let's see more of Wilm, the movie star. Wilm on film. Peyton Hollywood Wilm. Go Kraken. Thank you, Grievous. Hopping over to the Discord server now. A lot of good gags in there. You gotta get in there if you're not already. Pat says, for thoughts on Kozlov, hope to see/hear a few cause and effect puns, and maybe even some Rowdy Roddy Piper references for Darius Piper, another prospect who we drafted. Zach says, we traded Kozlov in Atlanta, and we drafted him here in Seattle, the NHL 07 Dynasty mode. The Data 782 multiverse is real. So does that mean there's a reality where Data loves Elvis Merzlikins and has won several cups with him? Now that's a good question. Addy leaves a fun comment here about a potential storyline we could go with for Alexander Kozlov. Maybe wants a surefire top 3 pick, but then there was some ACL, MCL injuries, and he drops all the way down, and it was only GM data and scouts and loyal assistant GMs that saw the talent. Now we'll see how he does at the NHL level. Feel free to pause and read that one. But Addy going on to write later, I don't personally think that the forwards are as big of a deal as you say, Data. Sure, we want to keep prospects happy, but we have too many to keep happy. Furthermore, our identity in this franchise mode has been those 30-year-olds. I personally would keep Chandler Stevenson. We won a cup, and after a cup, you don't normally see trading guys who are the very backbone of your team. Fair point for sure. Addy goes on to talk a little bit more about keeping Hayden Fleury, trading Jake Bean, and so on and so forth. A lot of what we've been seeing in the other comments for sure. And as we always like to do, closing it out with Assistant GM Extraordinaire Hobbsy, who says, I think Kozlov has to play, which means one of Bean or Fleury should get moved. Bean if you can, because Fleury's been good and he fits quite well. As for the forwards, Elin probably doesn't have a spot and could get moved. Gambrel can be 13th forward. As for the prospects like Asher Maloney, I feel it comes down to basically what the game thinks is best for their development, which is a weird thing to say since we're talking about EA Sports NHL franchise. If they're listed as an NHL player, they should probably play. Maloney is listed as an 4th line forward, but they could also benefit one more year in the AHL. It's that, that age-old debate of 4th line NHL minutes plus maybe special teams versus top line AHL minutes and guaranteed special teams. Normally, I'd say leave them down in C, but they do eventually need to come up. I'd recommend playing them in the preseason and seeing how they look. Then we can make the decision on if they stay or go back down. So thank you, everyone, for those thoughts. I think what we're going to do here in the preseason will be those experiments. We know Beniers, McKinnon, Mark, all those guys. We know about them. So as we did last preseason, which was give all these rookies a good showcase of a few games with, not just 4th line minutes, but middle 6 minutes. And from there, I can make preliminary decisions that all of you can digest and give your thoughts on as well once I pause around the 10-15 game mark. So with all that being said, when it comes to the trades, Brandon Tanev's not going to go. I'm going to keep him as the 15th forward, even if it has to be. He's an 81 overall, making league minimum. I have no reason to trade him. Adam Lowry, though, at an 81 overall, coming off of a big Stanley Cup, listed as a 4th line forward. One more year at 3.155. I don't want him playing in the AHL. nor am I super comfortable with him being the 13th forward. It's going to depend on the preseason, but I think it's possible we trade him in this episode. Kozlov definitely has to be up there. Bean, I'll give him some preseason minutes, but I really don't think, unless he goes on a tear, that he'll be seeing the NHL to start the season. Elinen, I tend to agree with Hobbsy that he could probably move on. 80 overall, 25 years of age as well, even though top 6 potential is the lowest on our totem pole here, as Roseanne is an 80 at 22, Mercer's an 81 at 23, and we saw how growth is necessary for guys like Sean Suzuki as they went from 80 to 82 over the course of last season. So I'm going to stop talking there. I think we're all on the same page. The X factors have been added. Trades are maybe being thought about, but first let's get through this preseason. Here's an idea of how we can look for preseason game number 1. All right, so here we go. First line, we're going to try Roseanne, Suzuki, and Tarasenko +3. The captain's going to be there to guide everything. Second line, Schwartz, Shaw, and Mercer. Schwartz will be there to guide everything, like, one veteran presence per line. Third line, Stevenson with Popov and Cole Lind. Fourth line, Elinen, Lowry, and Maloney. Maloney, I'd prefer to get him higher up in the lineup, but he does have a perfect fourth line fit. So if he does make the NHL, this is where he'd be playing. Let's try him out there. Defense, Cholowski and Bear, Bean and Jiricek, Kozlov and Fleury getting the +2. Goaltending will go Peyton, Hollywood, Wilm starting this one. Probably be the only game of the preseason that he plays, though. Maybe the last one as well, just to warm him up a bit. But Gus and Big Ben Bishop will be playing all of the rest of these. So this is going to be the first game. I'm going to try Roseanne, swap him up with Mercer, for example, to get first line minutes for all those guys, but I'm glad that him, Shaw, Suzuki, and Mercer are all getting top 6 headed into this preseason here. We'll be rotating a few more. I'd like to get maybe Jameson Reese into it as well. I tried signing some AHL assistant coaches here. Mishchenko here doesn't like the team market, so goodbye. Enjoy unemployment. Hugo Lalonde is happy to join the team. Thank you for reaching out. Look forward to making an impact. He's our new goalie coach. Thank you very much. Welcome to the team. Sloan and a third for Zemgus and a third. What are you talking about? The scouts have been sent out as well, so that's all done. Matejchuk and a second for Larson, a third and a fourth. What are you saying? And let's get to the preseason here. Starting off against the Vancouver Canucks. It is a shorter episode in terms of games that will be played, so we might as well just simulate this first one. I'm curious to see how these crazy wonky lines do. First period, 0-0. Second period, 0-0. Shots 20-15 in our favor. Nieto scores on Peyton Wilm to open up the scoring. Third period with good chemistry and some players who are definitely having a lot to fight for in this lineup. Really would want to see more from them. 10 minutes left. Let's just sim through it. We tie it up. There it is. David Jiricek on the power play. That's what we like to see. Shots are 34-24, and we lose with JT Miller scoring in overtime. So defense wasn't bad, but the scoring did not come through. David Jiricek getting the only goal for us. Peyton Wilm putting on having to stand on his head a little bit, even though he didn't even face that many shots. Moving into our next game now. Roseanne was injured, I suppose, for part of that. I'm not sure what was up there, but let's mix up the lines a little bit. We'll try Shaw and Suzuki getting swapped around, and Lind and Elinen getting swapped around. On defense, I'm going to try Bean moving down to play with Kozlov, the two players that are fighting for a spot here. He had 2 penalty minutes. Bean was a -1. That's not great. Fleury can play with Jiricek there. Goaltending is going to be Gus the Bus, backed up by Big Ben Bishop, as Peyton Wilm will get a little bit of a break now. Lines will stay like that. Not too many more changes. I'll probably swap out Schwartz and Tarasenko for Marco and McKinnon or whatever else in the next couple games, but just to give another little bit of shake-up of things here against the Oilers at home. We win 5-0. Ho-ho! Wow. 5-0. Minus that Jiricek goal on the power play. Who was getting points in this one? Shutout for Gus the Bus. Tarasenko with 2, Suzuki 2, Mercer 2, Barry, Kozlov with a goal even. Kozlov scoring? Okay. Wow, so like those lines, Elinen looking good, 3 assists. That earns you your spot to, you live it to see another day. Okay, so here's how we'll look heading into our third game of the preseason against Vegas. Matty Beniers coming up to play on that top line with Suzuki and Mercer. Popov in that second line with Shaw and Lind. Roseanne with Trocheck, who comes up to play with Jesse Elinen as well. Fourth line, Maloney, Reese, and Gambrell. Defense, Miller and Fleury. Second pair, Kozlov and Kyle Wood. Gives it a +5, so why the heck not? He is yet to play any NHL minutes in his entire NHL career, unfortunately, and preseason as well, eh? So, of course, if you know, you know, channel legend Kyle Wood. Jake Bean and Dennis Schlowski on the third pair. Goaltending, Ben Bishop will get the start, backed up by Philip Gustafson. Special teams are as the AI deems to be so the assistant coach is taking care of all of that. Let's head into this one against Vegas. Elinen leading the team in points with 3 assists in 2 games. At the T-Mobile Arena, it's a 3-1 victory. 2 more assists for Elinen, who now has 5 assists in 3 games. He's not making it easy over here to make a decision. But now we got to start thinking, are there players who are going to be getting cut? As through 3 games, there might be some players who we're done with already and can make a roster spot for somebody else trying to make their name on the team here. Suzuki is point per game. Mercer has a couple. Rose and Shaw also have a couple. Yurchek in 3 games there. Let me just sort by plus minus here. Anyone really struggling? Yurchek, the only minus in 2 games there. Kyle Wood, 1 game, no problems. Played 24 minutes. What a guy. Jameson Reese got a little bit of experience there. No points for Lynn, no points for Fleury. Gambrel, nothing there. Maloney, nothing through 3 games. I'm trying to give him an opportunity here. Not showing me that much. I know I could be playing him higher in the lineup, but he wants to play on that 4th line. And goaltending-wise here, all 3 goalies have looked fantastic so far. So we'll go back to Gus for this next game here against San Jose. We'll switch up the lines again a little bit. This time we're going to give Elinen some more top-line minutes. We'll get Shaw up there as well. On defense, I'm going to go Kozlov Wood on the 3rd pair with their +5. Chalowski and Bean will play 2nd pair with their +1. And Gus will get the start. I know it's a lot of micromanaging and stuff like that, but it will be very helpful for us when it comes time to make our decisions. Plus, this being an episode where we're not going too deep into the regular season. Let's see what we do in San Jose for this 4th game, of the preseason. It's a 3-2 victory. Ryan Suzuki, likely the hero in that one. He now has 5 points in 4 games, and we're 3-0-1. Jake Bean also a +3 now. Chalowski a +4. Kozlov with a goal and a +1. Kyle Wood got an assist and was a +1. What's up with these guys up top? No points for Hayden Fleury. I don't know what's up with Hayden Fleury. I'm giving him every opportunity here. 1 goal for K'Andre Miller. Maybe I'll try playing Ethan Bear with Hayden Fleury on the top pair, something like that. For the starting lineup for the forwards, Rosen has 3 points in 4 games. Popov, 2 points. Cole Lind hasn't looked too great, only an assist. Gambrel, no points for him, no points for Reese, no points for Maloney. So maybe it's time to cut Reese and Gambrel. Maloney, I'm only giving him more chances because of his potential. But let's make some more roster moves. All right, here's lines for the next game. Calling up Nathan McKinnon, to get, mostly for the special teams. For 5-on-5, he'll just play on the 4th line. Isaiah Marco also going to be making his debut up there. Defense will go Yurchek, Pulak, Fleury, Bean, Kozlov, Wood, with Big Ben getting the start. So lots of changes going every single game. Hope you're keeping track. But if you're not, that's okay, because we'll get an entire recap of everything at the end when we look at the stats. 5th game now, and it's an 8-1 loss. How do you do? Wow. Oh, my goodness. Ben Bishop got shelled out there, unfortunately. The defense did not help him. I'd love to see the box score on that one. Yurchek a -4. Pulak now, he's only a -1 in that game. So I guess Yurchek was only, I think he was a -1 before, so he's probably a -3 in that one. -3 for Fleury. It's still a +1 for Bean. +2 for Kozlov, and a +1 for Wood. So it might have been mostly that, I don't know, Fleury and Yurchek? I don't know. It doesn't quite add up. But forward-wise, I don't know who the big -2 for Isaiah Marco. So the 1st line did not do well in that one. Neither did this 3rd line. 4th line, no, nothing happened there. Okay. Big Ben got shelled, unfortunately. Gus has been doing great, so we'll go back to him for the next one. Lineup changes. Let's do a little bit. Okay, we're also going to try Maloney to the 3rd line, even though he doesn't like it there, just to get something going. I'm begging for him to do something. I called up Vesa Heiskanen, who we've had in the AHL, now, for 3 years. Really hoping he can grow. A prospect we picked up from the Capitals. He was a 1st-round pick in 2022, so let's get him a little bit of time out there. Elinen top 6, as well as, let's go Yurchek, Pulak, Kozlov, Wood, and Bean Fleury with Gus the Bus backing up. Game number 6 now against the Calgary Flames back at home. It's a 6-1 victory. How do you do? And we have one last game now of the preseason, final tune-up. Now is where some decisions are going to have to be made. Rosean has 3 goals and 4 points in 6 games. Mason Shaw, 4 assists. Isaiah Marco is not doing anything crazy. Elinin, 7 points in 6 games. Suzuki, 8 points. Dawson Mercer, 1 goal, 3 assists. Asher Maloney got an assist finally, but only 1 assist in 6 games. Lowry, goal and an assist, and -1 through 4. Gambrel, 3 goals and 4 points. I love Dylan Gambrel. Heiskanen didn't do much in his less than 8 minutes. And Popov, 3 points in 6 games. So I'll make some changes in a second. Jiricek with a goal, -3. Kozlov, a goal, +4. Kyle Wood, an assist, +2. Bean, 2 assists, +2. Fleury, no points, -2. So for this final game, I'm going to give it to... I'm tempted. I think we're going to go Ben one more time, but it's pretty much locked up that Gus is going to be our backup, just to see if he has anything left to show us. I'm going to go ahead and make some cuts here and then call up some other NHL-ready players so that they can get a little tune-up as well. So I think it's safe to say that Suzuki beat Shaw for who's going to be maybe if it's 3rd line versus 4th line center. So I think Shaw's locked up for 4th line center. I'm going to send him down because we don't need to see another game from him. I want to see another game from Elinin, even Rosean, but Maloney, I think we can send him down. Reese had a couple games, but nothing crazy, so we'll send him down as well. And we'll go ahead and call up a couple players to fill in those spots. Heiskanen, it was just to see if he could do something that one game. Nothing crazy. So I'm going to go ahead and send him down. And in exchange, I'll just call back up Chandler Stevenson, actually. I really hope Heiskanen can grow in the AHL and really become a player for us. But that game wasn't going to make or break it. It's just, you know, as a 77 overall, it's not quite time for him yet, I suppose. Oh, and for defense, I'm going to swap Pulak for Bear. I think I'm going to cut Hayden Fleury right now. He's guaranteed 7th D or lower, but I don't think he's going to crack the top 6 to start the season. No points, -2. I know 20 minutes a night, he's doing well, but it's just that he had to really do his best against some of the other defensemen who he's fighting for a spot for with out here. So he and Pulak will go down. Bear will come up. Kyle Wood, he's looking good. He's going to get one more game out here. So there we go. We'll go Chalowski, Bear, Bean, Jiricek, Kozlov, and Wood. For the forwards, we got Tarasenko, McKinnon, Marco back as the top line. But second line will be Elinin, Beniers, and Mercer as they're fighting for spots. So is Roseanne on the 3rd line with Suzuki and Stevenson. And so are Popov and Lowry with Gambrel on that 4th line. Gambrel, another great audition. He shows up when he's needed. So it's going to be a big final game of the preseason here before we call up Trocheck, Shaw, and we start making those bigger decisions on Popov, Gambrel, that bottom 6. Let's go in to watch this one at home against the LA Kings. We're 4-1-1. They're 4-2-0. Mostly because I want to be able to see the box score after this one. First period, 1-1. Popov scoring. There he is. Second period, 3-2. Dawson Mercer. Okay. And Vladimir Tarasenko for us. Konechny scoring on Bishop. And in the third period, the Kings tied up. Anthony Beauvillier. In overtime, nothing. Shootout. We take it. McKinnon, Marco, and Beniers. 3 goals, all for the Kraken. Seattle stats after that one. Let's just see the plus minuses. Don't be much in the real world, but in this EA world, you got to check them out. Tarasenko, Mercer, Beniers, Chalowski, Bear with the negatives. Bear playing almost 32 minutes tonight. What a truck. Mercer, Marco, Elinin with another assist. Elinin, man, he's the dark horse of this episode, I think. I could see him making it. I don't know. Kyle Wood with a little over 11.5 minutes. He's also so steady out there. The 3 stars in this one, Beauvillier, Popov, and Turcotte. So with all that taken into consideration, now let's take a moment to pause and look at the entire stats of the preseason as a whole, all 7 games coming together. Playing in all 7 games, I believe it was only Suzuki, Elinin, Mercer, Roseanne, Popov, maybe some others, but both Suzuki and Elinin score 8 points in 7 games, playing those top 6 minutes. Fantastic. Elinin, granted, 4 of his 8 came on the power play. Maybe, he wouldn't get power play time in the regular lineup, but still, 4 even strength points to boot. Dylan Gambrel, 5 points in 5 games. He has to make this team. Dawson Mercer as well, 5 points in 7 games, only 1 power play point. Roseanne had 3 goals and 4 points. Popov had 4 points in 7 games, averaging 10 minutes a night, and he did quite well. Tarasenko, Beniers, Lowry, 2 points in 5 games, even plus minus. Jiricek, 2 points, -2. Marco with a couple points. Bean had 2 assists and was a +3 in 7 games. I don't know if that does anything for the trade value. Kozlov, he also played all 7 games. So did Bean. He scored 1 goal and was a +4. Chandler Stevenson, 3 games. Kyle Wood played in 5 games, had 1 assist, and was a +2. Goaltending-wise, Peyton William played his 1 game. Ben Bishop, 2-1-0 with an .884 save percentage, almost 4 goals against average. And Gus the Bus, 3-0-0 with a shutout, .968 save percentage, 1 goal against average. He has definitely locked up the backup role, at least for the beginning of this season. Very excited for him to be able to showcase that because he has had a tough go the last couple of years. And of course, we can't forget the players who we sent back down to the AHL. So Mason Shaw, he played in 6 of the 7 preseason games. He had 4 assists and was an even +-. Jamison Reese played in 2 games, had no points, and was also an even +-. Cole Lind was probably the biggest disappointment, I think, as he's always been great in that bottom 6 role, but only had 1 assist and was a -2 in 5 games. Not looking super convincing out of camp. Heiskanen had that 1 game as well. And on defense, Hayden Fleury, actually, he was probably the biggest disappointment over Cole Lind, as he played in 6 of the 7 games and was a -2. I know we're not looking always for a ton of points, but he's been very steady for the +-, and I was a bit surprised to see a -2 through a 6-game sample size. I know it's not crazy, I know, but you have to try and extrapolate those small numbers on a larger scale. Not easy. Oh, and of course, Asher Maloney, who we thought would be pushing for the NHL, and he played only bottom 6 minutes. That was his best fit. 6 games, 1 assist, +1. Probably going to be starting the season in the AHL. So with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and create the quote-unquote maybe ideal roster coming out of camp. And with these lines coming together, it does mean that Jeremy Lauzon definitely has to go. Already being as a 7th defenseman, or / Fleur as a 7th defenseman, means Lauzon's at 8 or 9. Kyle Wood's been great. Sloan's coming up. Even though he was our expansion draft selection from the Boston Bruins, he did have some time in Seattle as an original Kraken. It is time to move on from him. So thank you for all of your service, my friend. Multiple teams are offering us a 4th and a 5th, so I'll send you to the Eastern Conference, and I wish you all the best as we take a 2027 4th and 5th round pick from the Philadelphia Flyers. Merci beaucoup, Jérémy, et bonne chance. Okay, so it's not how I thought they'd look at the beginning of this video, but here we are with the potential lines heading into the 2025-26 regular season. The top 6 looking as it always looks with the +2 and the +5, fantastic. Third line, Stevenson, Suzuki, and then out of nowhere, making it out of camp, the man who we thought was at the bottom of the totem pole, Jesse Ylönen, with 8 points in 7 games, the 2nd round pick in 2018 from the Montreal Canadiens, who has how much NHL experience? He has 1 NHL game in 2020-21. He's been in Laval ever since, spent last season in the Pacific Palm Springs HC with us. He is getting to start on the 3rd line. 4th line is going to be Mercer, Gambrel, and Roseanne. Mercer, 5 points in 7 games. Gambrel, just an absolute tank with 5 and 5. And Roseanne, 4 points in 7 games. Medium top 6 potential, 80 overall. Has good chemistry in the top, pretty much throughout the whole lineup. I'd like to get him to grow. But the thing is, he's probably at the bottom of the totem pole now because Mason Shaw and Cole Lind are healthy scratches. Shaw with 4 assists in 6 games was not bad at all. Listed as a 3rd line scorer. Cole Lind listed as a 3rd line checking forward. Medium top 6 potential. I know only 1 assist and a -2 in 5 games, but I'm not sure we can roll like this long term. So that's why the beginning of the regular season is going to be some more experimentation. On the defense now, Miller, Bear, Chalowski, Pulak with the +2, and Kozlov, Jiricek with the +3. That leaves Bean as still someone we're looking to probably move on from, and Hayden Fleury as the 7th defenseman, but neither of them can be healthy scratches. We don't have enough room, so they're down in the AHL. Goaltending-wise, we know it's Peyton Hollywood Wilm, backed up by Philip Gus the Bus Gustafson, with the 3rd goalie, of course, being Big Bello Ben Bishop. So those are the lines. I'm going to still touch upon some things with the special teams, but I think that's how I want to roll starting off the year. AHL, I'm also going to fix up the lines. I know Adam Lowry probably has to go. We tried giving him the preseason as an opportunity, and Popov was great too. Was not easy to make these decisions. I know he was 2 points in 5 games, definitely on pace for what he had shown us. Great in the playoffs, 8 points in 23 games. but likely going to have to move on from Adam Lowry, as already our 13th, 14th forward, all that is Mason Shaw, Cole Lind, etc. So I'm going to take a moment now. Let's go find a trade for Adam Lowry. Multiple teams offering us a 3rd and a 5th. I am tempted by the Ducks because they have some prospects to toss in as well, but it's already pretty crowded enough here in Seattle. I think I'm just happy with taking the picks. It's unfortunate that we'd have to send him within the division, because 3rd and a 5th to Dallas, probably that'll be best. Or it's a 3rd and a 5th from Anaheim, because all the other teams are offering us 2 fourths. So I'll probably just send him to Dallas because we see them a little less than we see Anaheim. So off to the Dallas Stars. I'm going to try and squeeze a little bit more out of this because that's how good Adam Lowry is. So it'll be a 3rd next season, and I'll try to get a 5th and a 7th this season, since I don't have a 7th yet. Trade accepted. Fantastic. Adam Lowry, thank you for all you gave us to win the Stanley Cup here. Definitely not closing the door to him coming back in the future, as, you know, that's a great deadline move, expiring deal. Maybe we bring him back if things aren't working out, but as of right now, just not enough room, and it breaks our hearts. Definitely is helpful on the draft pick front, though, as we now have our 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Dallas's 5th, our 6th, and Dallas's 7th. Then next season we have a 1st, 2nd, 3rd, then the additional 3rd from Dallas, the additional 4th and 5th from Philadelphia, and then all of our picks onward from there. So with Lauzon and Lowry both gone now, I can fix up the special teams in the NHL as well as all the lines in the AHL, and we can get this season started. All right, lines are done. Let's hit it, showing you very quickly here. Special teams, power play in the NHL going +5 and 0. Marco McKinnon, Tarasenko, Yurchek, Schwartz. 2nd unit, we're going to get Mercer and Suzuki some ice time, along with Trocheck, Beniers, and Bear. 4-man power play looks like that, +3 and 0. Penalty kill +5 and +1. Hopefully that goes well. We'll keep tabs on that moving forward. And luckily, for the first time in a long time, 3-man PK has 2 zeros, which usually it's like -2, -1 at the very best. 3-on-3, 4-on-4, all that good stuff. Now to the AHL. If you're curious about those lines, here's how we're going to look down there. Defense will look like this. Sloan getting some time. Matejchuk getting some time with Kyle Wood there. Special teams, they're getting a lot of time. Really going to be focusing on Matejchuk and Sloan. There's the power play. There's the penalty kill, 0 and +2 if you're curious in how that's looking. Goaltending, Caden Primo backed up by Daniil Tarasov. Scratches look like that, and we're ready to rock and roll in both the NHL and the AHL. Still a lot of decisions to be made moving forward, but out of camp, these are our lines. And we're ready to hit it for Game 1 of year number 5 here at home against the Vegas Golden Knights. Preseason's done. Scouts are sent out. We're ready to do it here on opening night of the 2025-26 regular season. It's a rivalry. We are Stanley Cup champions. The banner is going up. Too bad there's no banner ceremony to go and watch, but the banner is going up tonight in Seattle. Let's win it at home for the fans. We haven't seen them since Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Finals, since we swept the Maple Leafs. First period, 3-0 Kraken. It's a first period hat trick from Isaiah Marco, the sophomore and the reigning Calder Trophy champion. Oh my goodness, 3 goals in like 8 minutes. Shots 11-7. It's 3-0 Kraken, and he has a hat trick before the first period even ends. Oh my goodness, 3-0 Seattle, Isaiah Marco. Second period now, no scoring. Shots tied at 17. My goodness, he's ready to go on a tear. Now getting full-time first-line minutes as well. Last year he started on the second, moved up to the first. This year, right off the bat, first-line minutes. We got 6 minutes left to go here. Still hanging on to the 3-0 lead thanks to Isaiah Marco. Couple minutes left, and oh my goodness, how about that for Peyton Hollywood Wilm? 25 save shutout to start off the season. 3-0 Kraken. What a way to go. Wow. First star, of course, to Isaiah Marco. Peyton Wilms, second star with the shutout, and Nate McKinnon getting 3 assists for third star of the game. The first line came through big time. Defense held down the fort, and it's a nice 3-0 victory to start off the season. Let's keep the good times rolling here. We're at home once again, this time hosting the San Jose Sharks. I'm going to keep it going. I'd love to see another slow sim where it's not just Isaiah Marco doing everything, so don't mind if I do. Let's just dip in for one more here at Climate Pledge Arena with the banner in the stands, in the rafters. First period, the captain, Vladimir Tarasenko, against a team, by the way, that pushed us to 7 in round number 1 of our road to the Stanley Cup, the San Jose Sharks. So they're looking for vengeance. They almost got us. the captain opening up the scoring, 1-0 after 20. Second period, Logan Couture scores early, but then Nate McKinnon comes back 9 minutes later or so, and it's 2-1 Seattle through 40. Shots are just 22-20 in the Kraken's favor. Power play, 4-on-3. It's a whoa, hold on. My apologies. Not even a power play or a shorthanded goal, but it was a San Jose goal from Andrei Burakovsky. It's a 2-2 game now. 3-2, the captain puts us back up. Vladimir Tarasenko with his second of the night. It's been all top 6 through these first 2 games. 2 minutes left, but Burmistrov, the player we passed on to draft Isaiah Marco, he ties it up with 2:19 left. Shots are 32-31 Seattle, 3-3 game. Overtime. Here at home, the Climate Pledge Arena, Hurdle versus McKinnon at the dot. Here for overtime. 3-3 game. Burmistrov tied it late. Let's see what we got going here. Beniers gets it from Bear. Pickpocketed there. Now Burmistrov's going to lead the charge back the other way in this 3-on-3 format. Love to see it. Lots of ice. Thomas Hurdle scores just way too quick, unfortunately. From up 3-2 to dropping it 4-3 in overtime. That was very anticlimactic, as it's a quick goal for the Sharks. That's like the only highlight of the game, and there it is. Unfortunately, not the greatest defending there from Ethan Bear. And the Sharks take it 4-3 in overtime. So a 4-3 loss there in overtime to the San Jose Sharks. That's all right. We're going to keep on trucking to this game against the Vancouver Canucks. We'll give the next 2 to Peyton Wilm, and then Philip Gustafsson will play against one of our rivals, the Canucks. So Pacific matchup here against the LA Kings, we lose 4-3, and then in Minnesota at the XL Energy Center, we win 4-1. The Canucks are 0-3-0. We're 2-1-1. Let's get Gus in there. This is his first NHL start in quite a while, as he was relegated to third goalie and didn't play much since like that injury to Peyton Wilm last November, I think, or last November, December, at the Rogers Arena against Vancouver. It's a 4-2 victory. Welcome back to Philip Gustafsson. A 31 save victory for his first in a long while, and just his 9th in now his technically his 4th season with the team, just his 9th win, as he played just the end of 2022-23 and then parts of 23-24 and 24-25. Here he is now in 25-26. Well done. So now we'll get a good chunk of simulation done. We got the Blue Jackets, Vegas, then Edmonton, Chicago, Carolina. We'll stop at this back-to-back against the Canadiens and the Senators, and that'll probably be where we pause for the rest of this episode, but we'll see how things are going by then. Kozlov has a sore knee and is out for about a week or so. So that'll mean calling up either Jake Bean or Hayden Fleury. Previously, I would have said Hayden Fleury for sure, but based on the preseason, I think I'm going to go ahead and call up Jake Bean. The only issue then is when Kozlov does come back, he's going to have to go through waivers. Same with Hayden Fleury. But the thing is, another reason to call up Jake Bean, I doubt anyone claims him. And even if they do, it wouldn't be probably the worst idea, even if we don't get anything for him, just getting rid of that salary. But I doubt anyone would take him, so the best idea would be to call up Jake Bean. For some reason, though, it's a -5 with Jiricek. Okay, I guess we'll go Bean and Pulak. Poor Chalowski. He's going to get relegated to third pair with Jiricek, I suppose, for -5 if they play together on that third pair. Okay, that's all taken care of. Fantastic. Now the calendar's going to be all glitched out, as it always is, so we've got to pause. A 3-1 loss, unfortunately, against the Columbus Blue Jackets. We're 3-2-1 through our first 6. Take on Vegas again after shutting them out to start off the season, this time in Vegas. Hold on, back spasms for Jaden Schwartz. That's not good, but Chandler Stevenson will slot up to the second line. Gives it a +2 as opposed to a +5. Dawson Mercer can come up to, no, I guess not. Roseanne, I guess, will come up to the third line, even though it's a -1. And on the fourth line, I think I want to bring in Mason Shaw as opposed to Cole Lind. So Mason Shaw can come there. Could he go third line? Not even, eh? So we'll go like that. -1 and 0 in the bottom 6, and Mason Shaw will actually play center. And then, why would it be at why? He has 84 faceoffs. Why would Dylan Gambrell, they're both listed as centermen, neither of them have the winger thing added to it. No, I'm putting Mason Shaw. He has the better faceoffs. He's going center. Okay, that's all done. Injuries are always fantastic. Vegas, let's see this time. There we go. 4-2 victory. Let's get back in the groove of things. Edmonton Oilers, 4-3 win. Okay. Kozlov's now back. Let's see what happened for those 2 games with Jake Bean. It's a playable injury. That's why. We have to put him back in the lineup. That's not good. 1 assist and a +3 in 2 games. That's why I'd prefer I'd want to keep You know what? I'm going to send down Kozlov. There we go. I'm going to send down Kozlov, and when he's fully healed, I'll just call him back up. I'm not going to play games like that if he's still injured. For like 2 more games at least. Blackhawks 4-2 loss against them. Jaden Schwartz now fully healed. So Mason Shaw comes out. He had 1 assist in 2 games. What's up with these other guys? Gambrel, no points and a -2 in 9 games. Rosean, 1 goal, 1 assist. I know we're going to touch upon these stats in just a few games when we call it an episode, but 1 assist for him. Evelyn 2 points. Yikes. Okay, I'm going to keep Mason Shaw in the lineup then. I'm going to pull out Dylan Gambrel, and then I might slot in Cole Lind for one of the other Roseanne, Elinen, or Mercer. Give me a moment to do that. Great, so Stevenson, Suzuki, Lind on the 3rd, Roseanne, Shaw, and Elinen on the 4th. Let's keep simulating the last few games like that. Kozlov is now fully healed. That's great. Let's see what's up with the calendar because it's always going weird. 4-2 win there against the Carolina Hurricanes. Now let's see. Do we go ahead and take out Bean? Do we bring Kozlov back up? That is the question. May as well take care of the injury in the AHL while we're at it. So Kozlov through 6 games had no points and was a +1. Jake Bean, on the other hand, so far in those 4 games that he has filled in, he has 1 assist and is a +3. So I'm curious if keeping the lines like this might be a better idea, but we definitely, I don't know, we want Kozlov in the NHL, just who would come out? I don't know, maybe Dennis Chalowski, 2 assists and a -3? That's a tough question. For the moment, I'm going to send Jake Bean back down and have the lines as they were, but keep that in mind. Jake Bean looked okay in those 4 games. So we'll send Bean through waivers now. Does anyone want to pick up that contract? That wouldn't be a bad thing for us if they do, but no one does. Bean back in the AHL, Kozlov back in the NHL, Schwartz is healthy, lines have been changed up a little bit, let's keep rolling. Tampa Bay Lightning coming up here. We'll play against them in Montreal, and then we'll stop with Gus against his old team, the Ottawa Senators. Little Eastern road trip here. We shut the Lightning out 2-0, and then in Montreal, Trocheck bruised hand. Great. He's out for about 2 to 3 weeks. Not ideal once again. So there's a few ways we can look at this. We could try promoting someone like Suzuki to the top 6, but I think what I'm just going to do is put Beniers as second-line center, promote either Schwartz or Tarasenko to the first line, and then put Stevenson on the second line, and then just bring one of those wingers back to the bottom 6. So allow me to fix up all of those lines again. Okay, so Gamble will fill in on the 4th line. Roseanne's actually going to play second line because it gives the line a +5. Stevenson works, but it's a +1. So, you know, in the interest of getting Beniers to a 95 and Tarasenko to a 92, let's try Roseanne, who only has 2 points and a -2 so far this season. Special teams, it definitely hurts to have Trocheck out of the lineup. He is huge on, you know, 3-man PK, penalty kill, power play unit 2, etc. So Suzuki and Shaw are going to have to step up and take a lot of that. 4-1 loss there against the Canadiens, unfortunately. So they'll both have to learn to take on more responsibility if they want to even be considered for the second line position next season if Trocheck does end up walking. So Gus will get the start here against his old team, the Ottawa Senators. It will be the final game of this episode. We'll take a pause after this one to examine where we are. It is game number 13 so far. The Senators are 9-2-1. We're 7-4-1. They're 8-1-1 in their last 10. It's going to be a very tough matchup for sure. Let's fire on all cylinders here in this Eastern Conference matchup. 2-0 Sens after the first. Kopitar and Pontus Aberg. Second period, 3-0. Pontus is second of the night. We're being outshot 25-22. 4-0 now from Brandstrom. Yikes. They know how to get to Gus, but we're not getting anything through them. But finally, at least Nate McKinnon gets one against our former goaltender, Philip Grubauer. Halfway through the 3rd period, still down by 3 shots or even, but nothing coming from this one as Grubauer shuts the door on us, and that bad start will be enough for the Senators to get their win. We outshoot the Senators 38-35, but they take it 4-1 the final. Grubauer 37 saves, Thomas Chabot with 4 assists. And that brings our record after 13 games to now being 7-5-1. We've dealt with some injuries. Trocheck, Schwartz, and even Kozlov on defense. 2nd and a 6th for Larson. No, all being injured. So keep that in mind when we check out the totals here. But we have to make some decisions for what this team may look like down the stretch, because this is a nice little start, but I don't know if it's going to get us all the way there. 18 points in 13 games for Nate McKinnon. 15 points in 13 for Isaiah Marco. Tarasenko and Beniers both have 11 in 13. Schwartz with 10 and 11. Love it. Ryan Suzuki, 7 points, -4. Trocheck, 6 in 12. Yurchek, 4 in 13. Maybe we think about bumping him up. Consider that. Keandre Miller, 4 points in 13 games. Ethan Bear, only 3 points and -1 on that top pair. Chandler Stevenson, 2 goals and a -9. That classic third line. You know, we thought that our identity last year on that third line, Chandler Stevenson, would help change it, but man, it's been tough. Ylönen, 2 points and a -3. Rosean, 2 points and a -3. Chalowski, 2 points and a -4. Cole Lind, 1 assist, -1 through 4 games. Mason Shaw, 1 assist and an even plus-minus through 6 games. Dawson Mercer, 1 assist and a -3 through 9 games. Kozlov was a +1 with no points in 9 games. Kulak, +2 but 0 points in 13 games. Yeah, goaltending here now. Peyton Wilm, 6-4-1 with 2 shutouts, 916 save percentage and 2.57 goals against average. Philip Gustafson, 1-1-0 with a 927 save percentage, 2.46 goals against. So the goaltending's been fine. The defense hasn't really been contributing to scoring, and the bottom 6 has been pretty bad defensively. If you're interested in the special teams, the power play and the penalty kill haven't been anything too special. It takes forever to scroll to it. Even when I'm holding down the left stick at full speed, it takes so long in this laggy game. Closer to the bottom than the top for the Kraken. Then we got to go back up. It's lagging so hard. 16.7%. Around the middle, but closer to the bottom. And penalty kill at 83.8%. Which is, I'd say, closer to the top than the bottom, but once again, closer, just more of a middle and average team when it comes to that regard. Yeah, there we go, at 83.8. So special teams, probably the penalty kill could be a bit better, but that's, you know, we've had Schwartz being out, we've had Trocheck being out. We're relying a lot on those bottom 6 guys who have not been scoring at all. So that goes into it. Could we consider calling up some players from the AHL? Perhaps. Keep in mind those preseason performances and that Popov has 14 points in 16 games, Maloney 13 in 16, and Heiskanen 11 in 16. None with the greatest plus-minus, but the points are there. Additionally, the team is 11-2-3 at the moment. To close things off, if you want to know anything about trades, I doubt we're going to be making any trades. It's more internal decisions. It was always good to do our due diligence and see what's up on the trade blocks. Just quickly fly through those if you are curious about that. Sorting by overall and showing you the contracts. So Zellweger and Shergile. Those are 2 prospects that have been there for a while. Coyotes have Raquel, Hala, Yarncrow, and some other players there. Mayfield, Dahan from the Bruins. Buffalo's prospects. Calgary prospects. Carolina, no one really. Chicago, Seth Jones, Clefbaum, Orlov, Murphy, all with multiple years. Prospects on Colorado. Werenski, Matheson, Jones. More of the same on Columbus, and more of the same that we saw from the offseason. Prospects, Strome, Johansson, Gaudette, McNabb, Sorella, and more on the Red Wings. Oilers prospects, Panthers prospects, Kings prospects, and Colin Miller. Kopp and Zemgus on Minnesota. Andrew Kopp wouldn't be a bad idea, probably. Fits forward line 2 and is on an expiring deal. 6 points, even plus-minus in 15 games. Zemgus also there. Canadians, Petrie, you know, I don't know. Jeff Petrie, 3 assists, -7 in Laval. And not even sure if he fits deep pairing. Okay, move on. Prospects on Nashville. Zaka, John Tavares on an expiring contract on the Devils. Not sure. We'd have to scout him out, but he has 11 points in 13 games and is a +7. Very interesting. Vetrano, Schultz, Milano, Harkins. I'm not sure if next episode will be the entire season, so that's why I'm showing this as well, because keep in mind that the trade deadline would be included. Johnson on the Islanders. Rangers, more prospects. Ottawa Senators, not much. Flyers, not much. Penguins, nobody. San Jose Sharks, Cedric Paquette. Blues, Larson, Duchesne, Backstrom, D'Angelo. More interesting idea, especially with all our salary. Duchesne not looking great points-wise. Duchesne and Backstrom 7 points, -7. Okay. Tampa Bay prospects. Toronto prospects. Vancouver prospects. Vegas, Stone, Tuck, Carlson, Toffoli, Bluger, Shillington, Schmidt, Shattenkirk, all there. Only person on expiring deal, though, is Alex Tuck, who fits all forward lines and all penalty kill. He's playing on the 4th line. Maybe we got to go save Alex Tuck. Maybe. Only playing 10 minutes a night? Maybe Alex Tuck. I don't know. Washington Capitals, DeMello and others. Jordan Stahl, Brandon Lemieux, Peak, Jankowski, Achari. so forth on the Winnipeg Jets. So there are the trade blocks, there are the lines, you know our prospects, you know the stories. There was the preseason and the beginning of year number 5 here in Seattle. We've said enough through 13 games. It was a bit of a long one for what we got achieved, but when a team's trying to go back-to-back, they got to get everything right. We know that it's a delicate situation with balancing prospect growth and current success, but I have no doubt that we'll be able to put our heads together and get it done. So that's why all you assistant GMs, be sure to leave your thoughts down here in the comments on YouTube or over on the Discord server, link in the description for that. If you enjoyed this preseason and you're excited for year number 5, be sure to leave a like, and do be sure to subscribe as you'll be made aware of all the uploads here on the channel: NHL 22 Franchise Mode, FIFA 22 Career Mode, NHL 07 Dynasty Mode, Datacasts, and more. I think we have the championship pieces here in Seattle. We just got to put them in the right spots with the right formula, and that's where all of your thoughts will come in handy. So very much looking forward to reading all those thoughts and seeing you again in the next one.